Capricorn, pause for a moment and listen. Before we go any deeper, tap the like button right now if you have ever felt protected from something you didn't even know was coming. Subscribe if you know God has been shielding you silently, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover a truth that will shake your soul, and you will finally understand why the jealousy, the delays, and the sudden distance from someone you trusted was never a coincidence. What you thought was a bad season was actually a secret war, and heaven fought it for you while you slept. Capricorn, you are strong, but what you are facing right now goes beyond strength. There is a woman, someone familiar, who smiled with you, laughed with you, checked on you, maybe even prayed with you, but behind your back she wanted your downfall. She watched your growth with envy burning in her heart. She saw how people loved you, how opportunities came your way, how doors opened when you knocked, and instead of celebrating, she began to plot. You didn't know she was watching every good thing happening in your life and wondering, why not me? And in that moment, jealousy turned poisonous. You began to feel drained around her, didn't you? At first you blamed stress, you blamed work, you blamed yourself, but something in you felt off whenever she stepped into your space. You didn't know why conversations felt heavier, why your joy felt dimmer, why blessings seemed delayed. You didn't know that someone was whispering against you, paying for your name to be removed from blessings meant for you. Capricorn, don't scroll. Comment, I claim divine protection. If you can already feel in your spirit that these words are exposing a truth you never had the courage to accept. The most painful battles are those we fight without knowing we are in one. Samson didn't know Delilah was sent to destroy him. He thought love was safe. He thought closeness meant loyalty. But the real enemy wasn't the Philistines, it was the woman he trusted the most. And just like Samson, your weakness was believing that love guarantees loyalty. It doesn't. Your heart is pure, Capricorn. You love fully. And that is why betrayal hurts you deeper than anyone else. Let me tell you a real story. A young Capricorn woman named Melissa was climbing fast in her career. She had a friend she trusted with everything, her plans, her dreams, even the name of the man she loved. Her friend pretended to be her biggest supporter, but she secretly hated how life favored Melissa. So she started spreading tiny rumors, just small lies at first. Be careful of Melissa, she's too ambitious, she might step on you one day. The lies grew. People at work changed how they looked at Melissa. Suddenly, opportunities disappeared. Invitations stopped. She didn't know why she felt unwanted everywhere she went. And then one night, she overheard that same friend saying, I hope she loses everything. That was when Melissa realized the truth. The attack didn't come from outside. It came from the person she gave her heart to. Capricorn, someone has smiled in your face while cursing your name behind closed doors. There were nights you cried without understanding why the world suddenly became cold. There were mornings you woke up with heaviness sitting on your chest like an invisible weight, but God kept pushing you forward even when you didn't have the strength to walk. You're not here by chance, you're here because your protection has been divine. And the enemy couldn't stop you. Another story, a real one. A Capricorn man named Daniel had a business deal that could change his life. He trusted a woman he thought was a friend. She introduced him to potential investors. But what he didn't know was she told them he was untrustworthy, hoping they would choose her instead. The deal was postponed, cancelled, then mysteriously offered again later, but not to him. Daniel almost gave up on his dreams, but God redirected him to another connection, a better opportunity abroad. Within a year, his income doubled. And the same woman who tried to sabotage him, she ended up losing the little power she thought she had, because every weapon formed against a Capricorn always backfires. You might think these are just stories, but Capricorn, this is your life. Someone attempted to block your blessings, but heaven already blocked their attempts. Sometimes God closes doors not to punish you, but to protect you from walking into a trap someone else paid for. You think it was a random cancellation, but it was divine intervention. You think the job rejection meant you were not enough, but God was saying, not this way. They are plotting against you there. You think distance from certain people happened out of nowhere, but heaven was removing snakes before they had the chance to bite. Let me show you something else, a truth your spirit will recognize. Think back to that moment when something felt extremely wrong. You couldn't explain it, but your heart felt uneasy around this woman. She tried to study your weaknesses. She asked questions, not because she cared, but because she wanted to use your truth against you. She watched how every time you got good news, your light grew brighter, and the darkness inside her couldn't handle it. Capricorn, your existence exposes hidden demons, your success triggers silent enemies, and your confidence threatens people who pretend to love you. There was another Capricorn named Aisha. She was always supportive, always giving, always lifting others. One day she found out someone paid a spiritual worker to block her marriage, to destroy her finances, and to turn loved ones against her. Aisha was shocked because the woman who did it ate at her table, called her sister, and acted like she cared. The jealousy was so deep that the woman would rather pay money to see Aisha fail than use the same money to build her own success. Capricorn, I need you to type Amen if you feel something shifting inside you right now, because your soul recognizes the battle. Your intuition has been whispering the truth for months, maybe even years. Do you remember those nights where you suddenly lost sleep and felt watched? Do you remember how blessings slipped through your fingers right when you needed them the most? Do you remember how a relationship that was strong suddenly broke apart with no explanation? Someone was plotting, someone was paying, someone wanted the life that God designed for you. You are the kind of person who rises no matter how heavy the weight, and that's what scares them, because every time you fall, your comeback is stronger. The enemy doesn't fear your weakness, they fear your potential. They fear what will happen when God unveils what he has been preparing for you. They fear the way people love you. They fear your influence, your gifts, your light. That's why this woman tried to remove you silently. You started to feel disconnected from people you used to trust. Conversations turned cold. Support turned into silence. Suddenly, the person who used to encourage you was now pointing out every flaw, criticizing every dream, making you doubt your own abilities. No matter what you did, they had something negative to say. That wasn't friendship, that was sabotage disguised as love. Capricorn, hit the share button because someone you love needs this message too. You are not the only one who has been under spiritual attack from someone close. Others deserve to understand what's been happening in their life as well. Think about Delilah. Samson's strength was not in his muscles, it was in his destiny. His power came from God, and when the enemy knew they couldn't defeat him in battle, they found a woman who could get close enough to cut his source of greatness. It's the same tactic today. The enemy knows if you're left alone, you will rise too high, so they send someone who appears safe, someone who appears loyal, someone who seems harmless, until the mask falls. This woman pretended to care about your future, but secretly she wanted your downfall. She acted like she wanted you to win, as long as she won more. Her heart couldn't handle the idea that you were chosen for something greater. Capricorn, you didn't lose anything. God removed the wrong people so he can send the right ones. What looked like loss was actually protection. What felt like betrayal was actually revelation. And what looked like a delay was actually God preventing disaster. But listen carefully, because the truth is not finished revealing itself. There is still one thing you haven't realized yet. Her motives go deeper than jealousy. Her intentions go darker than envy. And the reason she targeted you, the specific reason, has been hidden until now. Stay here, don't move, because the most important truth is only now beginning to be exposed. Capricorn, now that the truth has finally started to surface, don't take your eyes away from this message. Hit that like button if you are ready for every hidden attack against you to be cancelled. Subscribe right now, because the moment you understand what God did behind the scenes for you, every chain holding your life will break. You are going to feel this in your chest, because you lived it. Every word is your story. There is a reason you are still standing, a reason the plot against your destiny did not succeed. That woman paid for your destruction, but heaven paid a higher price for your protection. Everything you thought was a disappointment was actually God stepping in front of you like a shield. Think about those sudden interruptions in your plans. You were on your way to a meeting, a date, a job opportunity, and suddenly something unexpected stopped you. A car wouldn't start. Someone cancelled last minute. You got sick out of nowhere. At the time, you were frustrated, angry, confused, but now you're about to understand why. Capricorn, comment protected if this is already starting to unlock memories within you. You weren't rejected, you were redirected. Because where you were headed, someone was preparing a trap. They wanted your failure to be loud, public, and humiliating. But instead of your downfall, God turned their wicked plan into divine protection. You didn't know that the delay saved your destiny. A Capricorn named Jerome had been working hard for a promotion. He trusted a female co-worker who acted like his biggest supporter. She helped him prepare for every meeting, helped him network with the right people. But deep down, she didn't want Jerome to rise above her. So she planted wrong information into his assignments. She whispered lies to the supervisor. She even tried to get him written up by twisting innocent actions into misconduct. One day, Jerome was supposed to present his final proposal. That very morning, he received a sudden call. His mother had collapsed. He rushed home and missed the presentation. He thought he lost his chance. He felt defeated. But a week later, the company uncovered fraud in the very team he was supposed to lead, and that woman was behind it. The boss told Jerome privately, "Had you been promoted, you would have gone down with her." God blocked what looked like a blessing, because it was a trap dressed as success. Capricorn, think back to all the times you were late, or lost something, or the door closed just before you got there. You blamed yourself, but heaven was preventing disaster. This woman wanted to push you into places where your downfall would be guaranteed. And God said, "Not this one. Capricorn belongs to me." There is also the moment where communication suddenly died with someone you trusted. Without warning, they went silent. They pulled back. They stopped sharing with you. That wasn't random. That wasn't your fault. They were instructed not to help you anymore. Someone poisoned their mind against you, convincing them that you were the enemy, that you didn't deserve support, that you were dangerous to be connected to. Capricorn, someone tried to turn your helpers into haters. Look at Joseph in the Bible. His brothers hated the dream God gave him. They stripped him of his coat, a symbol of favor. They threw him into a pit to erase his future. They even sold him off, hoping he would disappear forever. But every attack pushed him closer to the palace. The plot against him became the pathway to his destiny, and when his brothers finally stood before him hungry, he was the one feeding them. That's you, Capricorn. They wanted you broken. God made you chosen. Another Capricorn, a woman named Sophia, was in a relationship with a man who loved her deeply. But there was another woman, a friend, who was jealous of Sophia's happiness. She went behind Sophia's back and lied to her boyfriend, saying Sophia was unfaithful, manipulative, using him. The relationship collapsed. Sophia was devastated, heart shattered. But here's the twist. The boyfriend later discovered the truth, exposed the lies, and returned for forgiveness. But by then, God had elevated Sophia to a better and more successful season. Instead of losing everything, Sophia was protected from a future heartbreak, because that man wasn't strong enough to protect her heart. God stepped in again. Capricorn, that is why some people disappeared from your life. God was saving you from crying tears caused by a person who claimed to love you. So the breakup, the silence, the sudden shift, that was God saying, "I love you too much to let this hurt you later." That woman paid for a spiritual attack. She wanted your loneliness to swallow you. She wanted people to doubt you. She wanted your name to become dirt. But heaven defended you while you were sleeping, while you were crying, while you were confused, while you were questioning why everything was falling apart. And then came the delays. Oh, the delays. You worked so hard. Yet nothing moved. Doors were slow to open. Opportunities took forever to manifest. Capricorn, your delay was not denial. It was protection. You were being hidden until the danger passed. Even the famous experience this. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She was fired from her job as a news anchor, humiliated, told she wasn't fit for television. But that rejection propelled her into a destiny greater than anyone could have predicted. The very chair she lost was the throne God replaced with a global empire. The enemy's greatest weapon has always been premature promotion, putting someone in a place before they are spiritually secure. And Capricorn, God said no, because he loves you too much to let a fake friend destroy you at the height of your success. Your blessings have been loading behind closed doors, while God has been exposing every hidden Judas. Now let me reveal something else. This woman didn't just envy your success, she envied your protection. She kept asking herself, how is it that Capricorn always survives? Every time she tried to destroy your relationships, God sent new people. Every time she tried to confuse your mind, God restored your peace. Every time she tried to break your income, God sent unexpected opportunities. Your resilience irritated her demons. She wanted to make you feel alone, but angels surrounded you. She wanted to watch you fail, but God kept elevating you. She wanted to see you suffer, but your spirit remained uncrushed. Capricorn, type chosen one, if you feel this message exposing hidden darkness right now. And now every single thing she tried is turning against her. Because when God decides to protect someone, no human payment can override his power. You are not blessed because of luck, you are blessed because of purpose. But here's the revelation your heart has been waiting for. There is a reason she targeted you, a reason she chose you out of everyone else. It wasn't just jealousy, it wasn't just insecurity, it wasn't just envy. Your story, your identity, and your calling threaten something deep inside her, and the truth is darker than you think. Stay right here, Capricorn. The real reason she wanted your destruction is only now beginning to come to light. Capricorn, before you take another breath, hit the like button now if you can feel that God has been fighting battles for you that your eyes never saw. Subscribe if you are ready for the justice that heaven has prepared to finally be released into your life. Because what you are about to hear will explain why the attacks were so intense, why the jealousy was so deep, and why the same woman who hugged you was the one who hoped for your destruction. You are about to understand why your life has been a target, and why her plans are falling apart right in front of her. You see, Capricorn, when someone pays to destroy a destiny, it is because they know that destiny is too powerful to defeat naturally. She knew who you were before you even realized it yourself. She could see something in you that threatened everything she wished she could be. But every time she tried to harm you, God intercepted her plans and turned her curses into stepping stones. She tried to dim your light, and heaven responded by making it shine even brighter. There were moments when you felt abandoned, misunderstood, and betrayed. You cried in silence because you didn't have the words to describe the storm you were walking through, but every tear watered the roots of a future she could never touch. Your growth became her fear. Your elevation triggered her demons. She thought you were alone, but angels surrounded you at every turn. Let's go deeper. Do you remember when everything around you seemed to crumble? Finances delayed, relationships broken, loved ones turning cold, one after another. You wondered why God was allowing so much loss, but he wasn't allowing loss, Capricorn. He was exposing intentions. He had to clean the table before serving the feast in front of your enemies. And now, that table is almost ready. A real story, a Capricorn woman named Rachel. She was on the edge of a huge breakthrough, a business contract that would change her life. A woman she trusted offered to help and even prayed with her before the meetings. But behind closed doors, this woman paid someone to spiritually block Rachel's progress, to confuse her thinking, to create tension between Rachel and her team. The deal fell apart at the last minute. Rachel was devastated. But a month later, she discovered the contract was tied to a fraudulent organization that would have destroyed her reputation forever. The sabotage she thought was an attack was actually protection. God saved her name from being tied to corruption. Today, Rachel's business has tripled in success, and the same woman who tried to ruin her, she watches in silence, realizing her plot birthed Rachel's victory. Capricorn, comment, my blessings are protected if this truth is hitting your spirit right now, because your story has the same divine fingerprints. That woman expected your downfall to be loud. She expected you to crawl back asking for help. She expected to laugh at your pain. But instead, you kept rising. Even when you didn't feel strong, you kept going. Even when doors closed, you kept knocking. Even when people doubted you, you believed in yourself. That kind of persistence is not human. That is the hand of God keeping you alive, energized, and unbreakable. Let me remind you, Joseph's brothers didn't hate him because he did anything wrong. They hated him because of his future. They hated him because God favored him. They hated him because his dreams were bigger than their comfort. They hated him because he was chosen. And still, every betrayal pushed Joseph closer to his destiny. That is your life, Capricorn. You have been pushed, but always forward. You have been hit, but every hit became a promotion. They thought they buried you, not knowing you were a seed. Now listen closely, because here comes the part that will make you take a deep breath. There is a law in the spiritual world. The trap built for the chosen one becomes the downfall of the builder. Look at Haman trying to kill Mordecai in the book of Esther, the gallows he built. He ended up hanging on. Evil intentions always find their way back home. And now, Capricorn, the return has begun. Another true story, a Capricorn man named Ethan was betrayed by a woman who pretended to love him. She paid someone to ruin his relationship with his family. She planted lies that almost destroyed his bond with the people who loved him most. Ethan hit rock bottom, but he kept praying. Slowly, truth exposed the lies. The family apologized. They embraced him again. And the woman, everything she tried to take from him, love, support, stability, was stripped away from her own life. Now she watches from the outside as Ethan's life becomes even more blessed than before. Capricorn, that is the same shift happening in your story this very moment. But here's what this woman didn't know. When God chooses someone, he prepares them in private, then exposes their glory in public. And you are about to be celebrated by the same crowd that watched you suffer. She sees the shift already, the glow coming back, the doors opening again, the peace returning to your heart. She tried to break your spirit, but she accidentally built your strength. You started receiving opportunities that she never saw coming. You began healing in ways she didn't think possible. Your confidence returned. Your connections are improving. Your blessings are multiplying. And now she is terrified, not of what you did, but of what God is doing for you now. Another powerful story, a Capricorn named Lucas was always the helper, always the one people leaned on. One woman envied how he attracted kindness everywhere he went. She tried to manipulate his reputation and paid someone to curse his success. Business slowed down. Depression crept in. Lucas almost gave up. But God whispered, "Rest, I'm working." Months later, Lucas received an unexpected contract from a major client who discovered him through someone he helped years ago. That deal not only revived his business, it expanded it internationally. Meanwhile, the woman who tried to kill his reputation lost her own job and found herself alone. Because when you sow evil, you harvest destruction. Capricorn, every evil seed planted against you is returning to its sender with 7 times the force. The reason she tried so hard to break you is because she saw what you are meant to become: a leader, a pillar, a voice, a healer, a wealthy and influential powerhouse. She knew that if you ever discovered your own strength, she would never be able to compete. You threatened every insecurity she tried to hide behind her fake smile. And now her fear is coming true. Because heaven is preparing to announce you. Your name is traveling into rooms your feet haven't stepped into yet. Your blessings are accelerating. Your breakthroughs are aligning. Your enemies are trembling. And Capricorn, God is not done. Justice is moving, favor is rising, honor is returning. Every delay is flipping into divine acceleration. But there's one more thing, one final truth your spirit has already begun to sense. She isn't just afraid of your success. She's afraid you've already figured out who she is. So stay here, because now that her mask is cracking, the greatest revelation is about to unfold right before her eyes. Capricorn, breathe, because what I am about to reveal will make everything suddenly make sense. If you haven't already, tap the like button right now as a sign that you are ready for divine truth. Subscribe, because this season of your life is shifting so fast, and you must stay connected to every message meant for your protection and elevation. You are stepping into the part of your story where masks fall off and crowns rise. You see, Capricorn, God didn't just protect you from what she did. God is now revealing why she did it. And the truth is more intense, more spiritual, and more shocking than you ever imagined. She wasn't just jealous, she was threatened by the prophetic calling over your life. She recognized your light before you understood your own power. She saw your purpose before you saw your path, and that terrified her. There is a divine favor on you that money cannot buy, authority that cannot be stolen, influence that cannot be blocked. She watched you get back up every time she threw stones. She saw you laugh again after she hoped you would drown in depression. She heard your name being spoken in rooms she thought she had closed to you. Capricorn, comment, I rise, if you feel that fire inside your spirit right now. And what scared her the most is that no matter what she did, you remained good. You didn't become bitter, you didn't become hateful, you didn't try to get revenge. You kept showing kindness. You kept giving love. That is the kind of strength that evil cannot defeat. There was a moment when she realized she made a mistake, a moment when she saw something supernatural cover your life, a moment when her attacks stopped working. That moment was when God said, "Enough." Let me give you a story that mirrors your experience. A Capricorn named Zara had a dream of opening a home for orphans. A woman she knew mocked the idea and secretly cursed her progress. She spread rumors and laughed behind Zara's back. But while she was laughing, God was listening. 1 year later, Zara received donations from strangers who were divinely aligned with her purpose. She opened the home. The very first day, that jealous woman drove by and saw a banner with Zara's name on it. She realized she didn't just fail, she helped make Zara stronger. Capricorn, your victory will not be silent. Those who wished your downfall will witness your breakthrough with their own eyes. That is why your blessings slowed down. They had to arrive in the same season where your enemies can't deny them. God is preparing a testimony that will silence every lie. A success that no one can explain except by saying, "Surely, God is with Capricorn." And something else, this woman isn't just someone far away. She's someone who once studied you closely, someone who watched your every move, someone who pretended to celebrate your progress so she could measure how to destroy it next, someone you once trusted. But here, where the story flips completely. She thought you would never know, she thought her secrets were buried, but your intuition, that divine radar, has already identified her. You've been feeling her energy, you've been noticing the shift in her tone, the nervousness in her eyes, the sudden distance, because she knows the truth is crawling up behind her. God is exposing her through your dreams, through sudden realizations, through strange coincidences that are not coincidences at all. That uneasy feeling you get when her name comes up, that is the Holy Spirit saying, "Look again." Another powerful story, a Capricorn man named Jordan. He had a friend who always smiled but secretly tried to block his connections. One night, Jordan dreamed that this friend was holding scissors, trying to cut a rope that held Jordan's blessings. He woke up sweating. Weeks later, he learned that his friend was leaking his private information to competitors. Instead of exploding, Jordan stepped back and observed. Soon, the truth unfolded without him saying a word. The friend was exposed publicly, humiliated, while Jordan's success doubled. Capricorn, you don't need revenge. Your success is the revenge. Your elevation is the exposure. Your survival is the punishment. Your glow is her terror. You are moving into a season where everything you lost will be returned with interest. You are entering a chapter where your name becomes a key that unlocks doors no human can shut. You will not have to fight for recognition. Your gift will speak for you. People who ignored you will request access. People who doubted you will need your help. People who betrayed you will regret it every day. Because the same God who blocked her attack is about to amplify your influence. Your health will strengthen. Your finances will increase. Your relationships will be restored. Your soul will feel peace like never before. And as you rise, she will fall into a silence that she created for herself. But Capricorn, there is one mystery left, something even deeper, the final truth behind why she chose you. Because yes, she was jealous of your blessings. Yes, she was threatened by your calling. But the real reason, the one your heart already suspects, is still waiting to be revealed. And when that final truth comes out, it will change everything you thought you knew about yourself, your destiny, and the supernatural power that has been guarding your life from the very beginning.